And let's check out this ending, shall we? Fortunately, some people have uploaded commentary-free versions of this whole thing, so I can just link to one of those if you want to see the ending without my voice over it. Why? I was supposed to be the perfect copy. How can this be possible? There's a lot of delays in there. He's slowly dying and all that. I was supposed to be a hero. Heroes don't kill everybody, or they do, and history has just forgotten that part. I've just remembered something. He was not as naive as you are. Which is saying a hell of a lot, because X is probably the most naive character ever. He's just really fucking naive as hell. That's what made him a hero. Which is funny, because the fact that he was naive kind of helped him be a hero, but that's another story. I won't forgive you, I'll take you with me. It didn't work with Phantom, it's not going to work with you. I can teleport you, dipshit. Long silence. The final defense line has been destroyed. Self-destruction mode activated in Area X. All dangerous elements are to be eliminated. I don't see why it was necessary to have an announcement play that stuff, because the place is largely populated by people that are going to die anyway. They're just pointless, faceless, random robots, and that's just giving Zero the idea that he should run now. It's time to go. And dash jumping right through the boss shutters as shit explodes behind him. Fuck yes. Since you disappeared, I've been fighting this war alone against an uncountable number of Mavericks for nearly 100 years. Yes, it's that odd little cyber elf that keeps popping up every little while. I'm guessing most of you have already figured out who it is. Battle after battle, so painful and so sad. But the hardest part was when I discovered that I no longer cared about fighting enemies. Which is funny, because he never really cared in the first place, but, well, I guess that doesn't ultimately matter, because they're trying to make some kind of point or something. I'll leave this world to you. Please allow me to rest in peace. Yes, of course, that is X right there. He's taking on human form. And he's apparently a cyber elf now. Why is he a cyber elf? How did he become a cyber elf? What's the deal with cyber elves? Where exactly is he going? Do robots have souls? All this and more answered eventually. I'll leave this world to you for a while. I'm sorry, Zero. Once again, Zero is left holding the bag for somebody else's problems. Poor Zero, always cleaning up someone else's mess. Although I guess it's okay, because everybody had to clear up his mess way back in the Maverick Wars, which was entirely his fault. The dick. Massive fucking dick. Okay, it wasn't really his fault, but, well, I digress. So be it, but that's why we are the best partners. Were you just pretending to be asleep? Fucking Zero. Oh, shit. Thankfully, these guys die in one hit. I'll do what you want. Rest for a while and I will handle it. You can count on me. I won't stop. When an enemy appears, I'll terminate it. And we get a nice little theme change. And Zero proceeds to slice the fuck out of that entire army. And has now decided that he's going to fight everything and essentially rid the world of all the evil and shit. So that's the ending, that's the game. Yes, the storyline continues from here. There's 3 more games to get through. I'm going to get around to those eventually, but I'm going to take a brief hiatus from the Zero series to do a quick other LP, and I'm probably going to do one between every single game so I don't get burned out, and just to give you guys a little bit of a change of pace from this series, because it is a bunch of fairly long games and they go on for quite a while. Plus they can be a little bit annoying to play at times, especially when you're dealing with tracking down cyber elves and shit like that. As for my opinion of this game, well, this is sort of the storyline that sets things in motion for the later stuff. This is sort of the point where things don't really come together quite so well as they do later. the first entry in a series is not usually the best one. This is roughly equivalent to that story arc in most anime or in a movie trilogy or whatever, where they're pretty much introducing characters and having everybody come together. It's not until a bit later that they actually have the characters do something of worth. They just throw like a really weak, typical villain into the mix and have you rid the world of them, and it's just a really basic concept here, so it's not really the high point of the series. I consider 1 to be sort of my least favorite among them. I feel it gets a lot better. 2 is pretty good, and 3 is outright awesome. As a whole, I kind of consider the series to be pretty much 4 really awesome games and one of my favorite Mega Man series. But 1 is kind of the weakest link of the chain, and now that that's out of the way, it's going to be a bit more fun from here on out. There's quite a few issues and stuff, but it's okay. For the most part, I would recommend, you know, jumping right to the next game, because you can pretty much figure out everything, and they really give a basic summary of the whole thing. This game largely just exists to introduce characters and stuff like that, and, well, they pretty much recap the entire story in the second game, and the storyline from that point forward is much more interesting, and if you don't mind catching up a little bit, you've got no problem. Really, you could pretty much play the first mission of this game and the last mission of this game, then jump right to the sequel without really missing much of anything. That's seriously how this is set up. So, not really a big fan of 1. It's a good game, it's solid, and the triple rod is a pretty interesting weapon, and sadly it doesn't make an appearance later on, although they do replace it with other weapons that are sort of similar-ish. Yeah, good game. Not exactly my favorite, but the series gets better overall. And there's a collection available now for the DS, which is enhanced and has all this other cool shit going on there. So that's worth picking up or pirating if you're one of those guys. Because the series as a whole, pretty good, and some of the features there, they seem like they're okay. And trust me, the games get a lot better. In fact, 3 is really fucking awesome, and just outright probably my favorite entry in the series. And not just in the Zero series, but like the whole freaking thing, right? Love that game. Okay, level A, Collector, because I got all the Cyber Elves. Just barely managed to scrape by an A rank, and I took a shitload of damage there. Obviously, the mission clear time doesn't factor in all those dialogue boxes and shit, because if it did, it would be a lot longer than 8 minutes and 17 seconds. And let's see what else we unlocked here. Hard mode. This is basically the same game as before. However, you can't level up your weapons, and you can't really use Cyber Elves and shit like that. Basically, it's the whole game made like bastard hard, and all the enemies get like new patterns and stuff. Normal is relatively easy, but hard is like a complete fucking dick. And just absolute bastard to play. And will you save game data? Well, sure, why not? This is for New Game Plus. This allows you to go back into the game with all the stuff that you had before. It's right there waiting for you, so you could just go through the game with all your high-level, super-powered shit. Really nice. Every game needs a New Game Plus feature. Why the fuck do more games not do this? I'll never know. I hate the idea that you go to the end of the game, you go through all that work, and then it's reset, because, well, playing through the game at a really rapid pace with your high-level character, with all your awesome shit, that feels pretty cool, especially when you go back and just beat the fuck out of a boss that was giving you trouble before. Anyway, I'll save that round for another day. Just save the game here, get back to the title screen, and this LP, well, I do have another idea that I may go with. I'm not sure whether or not that's going to pan out, but for all intents and purposes, the LP part of this whole thing is done. This game is in the bag. I'm going to take a brief break for another LP, then I'm going to head back into 02. The fuck, I have no clue what I was saying. The vastly improved sequel, there we go. Fuck yeah. And from there, it's going to get a lot better as the series goes on. See you next LP, everybody. Good night. Thanks for watching.